Yeah, you're good. All right, so we are back now. I think everybody can hear us now. I'm seeing the audio signals coming on, and sorry about that, guys.
Come on.
Come on, it's a rookie mistake, man. I've been doing like it seems like we've been doing these shows here. We had some issues the first time, but it's been relatively seamless. And then today we something happened, but nonetheless, but we were talking about your big booty Judy, man. So
Oh
that
yeah.
so
She
what's
she purdy.
oh she is so what's the name? What's the reasoning behind the name there?
Man, it's kind of a long story, but I had a buddy that he was supposed to go duck hunt with me a few years ago, and he showed up late, but he called me that he was at the bar and he was with some hot chick and he was gonna have a good time, and I was like, you're full of crap, man. Like you ain't gonna get none. Anyway, he put her on the phone and she was like, this is Big Booty Judy. So ever since then, I was like, that's what my boat's gonna be, Big Booty Judy.
Uh,
There you go.
and
And
so,
if
I
you,
mean, was it true, or I mean, how did it work out for your buddy that night?
I mean, I never seen her, but I did hear her.
It sounded pretty.
maybe he does get impressions. You never know. I'm pretty good at that.
Could be.
Yeah. So Joe, you're
But
known.
have y'all seen that 350? That shit is a big booty
Yeah, it's a
motor, dude.
whole lot of engine.
That's
Yeah,
a lot
man.
of boat.
But you've had several of these big boats. It's what's the name of that big boat that you
Cat.
have? The cat. Yeah.
Dargle Cat. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is actually my first 25.
Okay.
I had
Before
a couple 23s before.
What was
How
the last one that you had?
Infidel.
That was a 23?
Yeah, it was 23.
Oh,
That
okay.
one's
Yeah, they-
bad, bro.
They make a 23 and a 25. I was real comfortable with the 23, so I was kind of hesitant to go to the 25, but I'm glad I did.
and so
It's,
I mean,
it's night and day.
you push that pretty hard offshore, huh?
I used to push the 23 real hard offshore. I haven't been that much. I think I took Victor once, and maybe I don't know. I've maybe been out there twice on the new boat.
Yeah. Just because of
But
time, weather, or just
yeah,
getting
it's just the weather hasn't been right. It's freaking windy season right now. You guys know it's blowing
Yeah.
like hell.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
The day
But
we
usually-
the day we went, there was like a surprise for me. Joe was like, "Let's go to the bay." I get there in the morning. He's like, "Change the plans." I was like, "I'm not going or what?" Like they're gonna drop me off. Yeah, you're not going, bro. He's like, "We're going offshore." I was like, "All right, let's go."
well, no, I pulled up to the boat ramp and I was like, "There's no wind." I said, "We're going offshore."
How far out do you go?
It depends. I mean, 9 miles is state water, so you got to fish within there.
Okay.
But I'll run north of the jetties most of the time.
And I mean, what do you prefer, snapper fishing or fishing the bay?
Man, I prefer just being offshore. Period. Like chasing anything out there. I mean, you just never know what you're gonna catch.
Yeah.
And in the summertime, you got the shrimp boats out there, and you can catch anything behind the shrimp boats: blackfin, tuna, mahi, cobia. So it's just, the fish taste better out there, and they fight a little better.
Yeah,
There you go.
Nice.
yeah, definitely.
Hey,
Yeah,
did you see a whale shark one time?
Yeah, I did about 4 years ago. I saw a whale shark probably 3 miles from the shore.
Shit. How big was it?
It was bigger than the boat. I was in a 22-foot boat.
Damn.
shit.
You
Did
And,
you jump on it?
No, I didn't have the balls to jump in with it.
You should have jumped on it, bro, and be like, "Yo, mama."
It was a big
I'm
booty
good,
Judy
man.
right there, man.
Yeah, I prefer to stay on the boat offshore, not in the water. I
Glad
mean,
how
I'm,
you said
200
offshore.
I'm 250 pounds. I get in the water, so I'm gonna hear it.
So, and so you do a lot of fishing, you do a lot of hunting. I mean, I see that everywhere you do, and then you do a lot of cooking as well too. What's that like?
Man, the cooking just kind of a few years ago. I like to eat, so I just started
You did take
trial
your
and
picnic.
error and cooking, and so now I just cook, man. I like to cook. And,
But you started.
It's like anything.
I think you started pretty heavy, and at least that's what I've noticed when you got that trigger.
Yeah, man. The Traeger was a game. Like I started fishing some tournaments, some series in Louisiana, and a lot of those guys over there. That's how they use those Traegers, and that's where I was introduced. And the food off of it was just amazing. So, and then one of the tournaments we were fishing, it's not around anymore. The series, it was the Tito's Redfish Series.
Yeah.
But if you fish the series, you get a code from Traeger and you get 50% off. So that's how I got my
damn.
first Traeger.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Not a bad deal.
And that's all you're using now?
That's all I use now, man. You know, a lot of people talk shit and they're like, "Oh, it's a pellet grill. You know, it's not a real fucking smoker." Blah blah blah. I'm like, well, food tastes good, so whatever.
I was gonna say that the
Yeah,
food comes out
Yeah.
well, so who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
yeah,
just
I
turn it
mean,
on.
they ain't got to eat it. I'm eating it.
yeah. Joe recently made a brisket for me. Thanks, man. And dude, I mean, I ate brisket the whole damn week, and it was literally my boy, my wife was like, "Hey, call Joe trying to make you a brisket, man."
Hey, don't be telling people your wife like my meat, man. That's not good.
That doesn't sound good, Victor.
my mom and my wife and my mama. I'm also calling you daddy, bro.
Oh, Poppy. I prefer Poppy.
I prefer popping.
Yeah,
So
Joe
Popping
called me.
Joe.
He's like, dude, Joe's like, how do I get Victor off my back? We'll just make him a brisket and he'll shut up already, dude. It's like, it's about time.
until it's gone.
He's
until they
outside my
finish it.
house. He's outside my house.
So before this, were you? I mean, you were cooking here and there. I mean, now you're cooking brisket. You're doing all kinds of stuff now. And was it before
I mean,
that?
I was always in like. I guess it's not that I wasn't good on the grill. I was just always intimidated by long smokes. You know, like smoking a brisket on a regular, stick burner and stuff. I could never get it right. You know,
Yeah.
I'd always fuck it up. So now with this Traeger, it's kind of dummy proof to say. So it's really easy, man. You can't really fuck it up.
Yeah.
So what? It's
And
kind
how
of
did
like
the. Go ahead, Vic.
I was gonna say, there's more that goes to it though. I mean, you said you can't mess it up, but I see you doing the chupacabra stuff, or that's what's called chupacabra spices and all
Yeah,
that
I
stuff.
mean everybody has their own ways, like the way they like to smoke it, they rub it or they inject it, but everybody
I
has their
rub
little
it.
secret, I'm sure you do.
well, Joe rubbed it for
The
you too.
brisket,
Yeah,
my brisket guy.
yeah.
He rubbed one out for you
But
there too, Victor.
Hey, and how did the whole infidel thing come about?
man, just being in the military, we're all infidels here in America, so I just kind of like being called the infidel. So then I kind of ran with the infidel chef. I was like, fuck it.
Yeah. That's
So
pretty cool, man. And it actually
Yeah.
came out pretty well, and because
yeah,
you
man,
actually changed your outfitters too.
yeah, the logo you had made for me, man, I loved it. I still love it. I just kind of changed my Instagram handle to match my Facebook handle. So
Yeah, I saw you were recently running a giveaway there, man, for some offshore going out
yeah,
there.
man, it's still going. I don't know how many people are on here, but if you go to my Instagram, I'm gonna give a snapper trip away for 4. The
And
rules are pretty simple. So
So
yeah.
how much would that cost? Like if he were to hire you?
I'll
So
do
Joe
my
is
trips
also a
for
guide.
Yeah,
I'll do 850 for 4. I'll take people snapper fishing.
yeah.
There you go,
So
man. You like it. You like his page. You win. That's $850 you're
yeah.
saving.
Pretty
Or you,
close to the giveaway, man. I'm just trying to get some more followers on Instagram. So once I get there, I'm gonna give it away.
yeah,
There
yeah.
you
I saw
go.
you were
So
you're like at 2,400. I saw it today that you're pretty close here, man. Or just over 2,400.
yeah,
So
I just hope everybody reads the fine print though, because they gotta wear thongs. Everybody.
Oh shit.
bring beer
You
for the
know.
boat, bring beer for the captain,
Yeah,
clean all the fish.
yeah,
Okay.
It's always in the fine
Right,
print. They
right.
always get you there.
Right now he's gonna
Yeah.
go back into the Instagram account. It's gonna say 2,100. Fuck, dude.
Yeah, no
But
idea how much convincing it was for this guy to actually put some clothes on today. He was just messaging me all day. Do I have to wear clothes on the show? I was like, yes, Joe.
I
I
mean, I
told him
thought
no.
about
I told him no,
being
bro.
shirtless Joe. So
I told him he's like, I'm gonna be shirtless, and I was like, bro, it's America, bro, land of the free.
the problem is, I'm not sure how many people watching this have ever seen pink nipples. So might scare some people.
I don't know. You might be able to find that here and there. That's why my browser
Yeah.
went down today. So we'll leave it at that there. So how often are you out guiding? I mean, I see pictures of you
I
either
haven't
hunting or
been,
fishing.
man. I haven't really been guiding much. I've just been doing everything for fun lately.
Yeah.
So, but I've been trying to actively get into hunting a lot more. But I just really love it, man. It's just fun. It's my thing.
That's
You
what you like
really
the most. You like to hunt more than fish.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love to fish, but I'm kind of waiting for July, August, September to start running offshore. That's when the weather's usually a little better. You got them shrimp boats out there, and of course, federal snapper season opens June 1st, so you can go a little deeper. That's what she said.
go a little
What's
deeper on the bit.
what's the biggest snapper you've gotten?
Me personally, I think I don't know, man, 10, 11 pounds, but I've had some big ones on the boat. I haven't caught any real giants myself, but I've had some buddies catch some pretty good ones.
But at the same time, I gotta say, when the day I went with you, you didn't fish much. Like you put us on fish, you were controlling the boat to stay in a certain area with that trolling motor that's freaking awesome. So you really didn't
Yeah.
fish much.
I typically don't even fish, when I go. I mean, I'll fish and catch my limit, but, most of the time I'll just let everybody else have a good time and fish. Because, I don't really anchor. I just kind of drift over the spot and then I'll pick back up, drift back over it, or I'll net the fish. And as long as everybody's having fun, I'm having fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it was
what it's all
fun, bro.
about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Roy's calling you out over here, dude.
What'd he say?
You get scared over 2 feet swells.
Who said that?
Roy, your boy Roy.
Crush?
Yeah.
2 feet.
Hey, he's the one that fucking threw up when he went to the jetties yesterday.
That's what it's called. So they're calling
Shouldn't
him.
have talked, Roy.
That's the Poodle Ralph that Rudy said earlier. Ralph. So.
Poor Ralph.
but
Yeah, I know.
The first time I ever went offshore fishing, man, it was with Joe, and he had this was on his Illusion when he had the Mayak Illusion,
boy.
and he said, "Hey, you wanna go for reds?" And I thought he meant reds, and we started heading down the channel, bro. And I'm just looking at I'm looking, and I'm like, "Where are we going?" And I was like, maybe we're gonna go to the mouth and look for like the big reds, and then he starts going out, and I'm just like, "Oh shit!" Like. Once we get there, he's like, "You're right." I was like, "Bro, I had never been offshore." I was like, "I didn't even know we were coming offshore." Like, but it was, we limited out in, I don't know, 20 minutes. We were done fishing.
Sometimes you have good days out there, man. Sometimes you don't.
The funniest part is this. So we get back in, and I'm all excited, man. I've never gone offshore, freaking limited out, and I'm walking like fucking McGregor in the boat ramp and shit, fucking like, fuck yeah. And the game warden is like, how'd it go? And I was like, oh, we limited out. And coming back from bringing Joe's truck, and the game warden is there with Joe, and he said, "Hey, your buddy said he didn't catch anything." So fucking Joe told him, he's like, "Oh, we didn't catch anything." And I told him we limited out.
So which one is it? Let's check it out. So, but
they were your friends, right? The dude that was there, he knew you or something.
Oscar, man, I know Oscar pretty good there, man. Yeah, Oscar's a great guy.
Yeah, a lot of those
I always
guys
mess
are,
with him during duck season too, because I always tell him when I come in, I tell him I got a bunch of coots, so I'll make him some coots too.
So you do your fishing July, August, and then kind of on September, October, you're out shooting again, and then you pick up the duck season, and then what's your year look like, man? It seems like you're doing a little bit of everything.
Man, it's mainly rubbing my meat and hunting and fishing.
That's a life.
Yeah.
And how long has that been your life? I mean, how long have you been doing it?
Man, I got out of the military in 2012, and it's been full blown since then.
Yeah.
So.
Is that when you started with the dogs, or?
The dogs I started probably in 2010, but I got a lot heavier with them more recently, last few years.
Yeah, I know that's the first time that when I started seeing you more and more on social media, it was with the dogs. I mean, it's freaking amazing what you would make those dogs do, and it was like, shit, how's that even possible?
Well, one thing I learned about dogs, man, is they don't talk back and they love you unconditionally. You know what I mean?
That's like Victor.
And they don't talk shit about you behind your back. So they're great.
You can't understand them anyway. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
And so you're training your dogs now, or what's the whole dog situation like?
I train my own dogs. I got an old one right now, but once he passes away, I'm gonna pick up another pup. And the draw thaw testing it's pretty rigorous, and I want to take the next pup, all the way through it, and just do it all on my own. So.
Yeah.
What are your dogs? What are their names?
I got Scout, Ammo, and Otto.
Nice.
Otto's Joe. Otto's the old one.
Yeah, Otto's like 14. He's pushing it. He's getting old, barely walks.
He's huge too, man.
He's 110 pounds.
God, he's a big boy.
And Scout is the one that hunts with you now. Scout.
Yeah, I mean, I still hunt Ammo, but last year I ran Scout just because it was his first year. And I want to see how he would do, and he did phenomenal.
Yeah, he's a good-looking pup.
They're all pointers?
Yeah, they're all draw thaws, all pointers.
Nice.
Fucking dog's got a beard and shit, bro. They do,
Looks
right?
like-
They have beards.
Dude, that's
should
why I
see it.
got mine.
Yeah.
That's why I got the damn. I have one that's nothing like Joe's dog's. And he didn't even grow a beard. My wife hates him because he couldn't. You can't even grow a beard. He tells him every day. That poor dog.
Sounds like
has a-
Victor. Victor can't grow a beard either.
Shit, I got a beard,
I mean,
bro.
What is that? That looks like some Iraqi shit. What is it?
Fuck, man. You know, it's funny, bro, because like customers that I go visit, like they've asked me before if I'm from India or if I'm from Afghanistan or something, and I was like, no, but if you don't buy it, maybe I will be.
You should just say boombala boombala. And just fucking go with it.
Yeah, good luck with that, man.
It has nothing to do with a beard, though, Victor.
How long were you in the
Yeah,
military,
man.
Joe?
I did 12 years.
Okay. What branch of the military were you in?
Army.
And so what were some of your deployments, and where were some of the areas that you went to?
I went to Iraq a few times. I went back in 03, and then I went in 09 again. And then in 2012, I decided to hang up the ring.
So you went straight
man.
from high school, or straight from straight from kind of that age to the military, or are you doing something else before that?
Yeah, I took, like, when I graduated high school, I didn't know what I was going to do. I kind of just was partying and doing shit I probably shouldn't be doing. And then I decided it was time to make a change, and I went and talked to the old Army recruiter, and I was gone.
Yeah. And what was
It
that
was the
like?
best thing I ever did, man. I
Yeah.
love it.
Put you on a track, put you on a path to being a professional fisherman.
Yeah, I mean, I got my degree while I was in, and I probably won't ever do anything with it, but it's there,
What'd you get a degree on?
Criminal justice, a bachelor's.
Oh, nice.
So-
I got a degree, but it was a deodorant.
Ooh,
And he doesn't use it, just like you, Joe.
Doesn't use it.
Doesn't use it. He must
I doesn't
be,
use it.
just like you said.
But before all this, Joe, I mean, obviously, when you were growing up, you were hunting and fishing. You grew up like that always.
yeah, I did a lot. I grew up in Ohio, and I did a lot of mainly fishing, but I did a little bit of duck hunting and stuff like that in Ohio. Not so much predator and big game hunting, but
Yeah.
a ton of fishing. I lived right on Lake Erie, so that's all I did. Walleye fish and perch fish. So
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 the saltwater was new to you.
saltwater was very new to me. My wife's brother, back in like 2007, first time I got introduced to saltwater fishing, and I was hooked since then.
You said perch fish?
Yellow perch and walleye up in Ohio.
Is that like croaker or what?
I mean, you could probably, it's very good eating, but yeah, it's about the size of a croaker.
And so what brought you? I mean, so if you grew up in Ohio and you go to the military, like why South Texas? How do you end up there?
My dad moved to Brownsville, Texas, of all fucking places, when I was 18. So I kind of came down here with him, and I found out how cheap weed was, and I was like, this ain't gonna be good. So
Yeah.
so I joined the Army.
and then you ended up coming back afterwards and called it home. Huh?
Yeah, between deployments and stuff, I kind of hung around here, and this is where I call home now.
Yeah.
So it's a hunting and fisherman's paradise,
Yeah. Hell yeah.
It's everything paradise, man. You got-
There's nowhere else in the country you could do what you do here. Nowhere.
Not for the price.
Not for the price. That weed's cheap.
It's still cheap, huh?
Hey, so how was it hunting with DeMarcus Ware, bro? That's cool, man.
It was cool, man. It was supposed to be me, him, and Dakota Watson, and Dakota didn't show up. But it was cool. I didn't really talk football or nothing like that. I just made it pretty cool, calm, and collective, and we had a good time, man. So, and he's a lifetime client. So, pretty excited about it.
Awesome, bro. Yeah, I saw a bunch of guys that when you were out there with them at the boat ramp taking pictures and
Oh yeah,
posting.
word
I
got
told
out that he
everybody,
was gonna
bro.
be there, and everybody was waiting at the dock. I was like,
I told everybody, but they don't believe me that I was supposed to go with you hunting. You invited me, but I couldn't go. Right? That's true.
yeah, you were on your period or something. I remember.
Damn it! That's not the answer I was going for.
The truth comes out.
Happens once a month.
Or actually with Victor 3 or 4 times a month. So, but he's counting.
Yeah, and then we fished him the next day. I fished him and Dakota Watson, and we didn't have a whole lot of luck, but it was still fun.
So how does that
And it's
happen?
funny
He just
because I
reaches
hear
out. Yeah, like how does that happen? He just reaches out to you on Instagram, Facebook, or
No,
something like that,
a
or
good buddy of mine, Randy Requenes. I don't know if you know him. He's the one that kind of put me on that path
okay.
to taking fishing and hunting, and we had a good time, man. He had fun, and we exchanged phone numbers, and he's ready to come back and fish and hunt. So
That's
Yeah,
awesome,
dude.
man.
yeah,
it seems like it happens a lot, man. I've heard a lot of stories of people like I know a lot of singers like Brooks and Dunn apparently comes down here pretty often, but they try and keep it low key. But I mean, I would figure a lot of people would come down here. I mean, you can fish, hunt, you can do whatever you want within minutes, but they
yeah,
don't want anybody to know.
yeah. Well, it turns out DeMarcus, he's been coming down here for 15, 16 years. He
Yeah,
was telling me, so he does a lot of hunting and fishing here.
that's
Nice,
awesome, man.
good deal.
He's
Yeah.
talking
So
about buying a home in McAllen because
yeah,
he
Oh,
likes to
nice.
golf and he likes the golf course there. So
yeah, nice.
Pretty cool.
Nice.
That's pretty cool. Hey, you definitely stand out, taller than everybody around here in the valley.
oh
So
yeah, he was a giant, man.
yeah. So, but yeah. So you do a lot of fishing. Let's talk about like the hunting that you're doing. So you said you went out hunting for a Neil guy. Like, what type of hunts are you going out and how frequently are you doing that?
Man, I any opportunity I get to go out at night and thermal hunt, I do a lot of thermal hunting. I jump on it. I don't care where it is or who it's with, and it's like the same with fishing. I don't really care about shooting as much, but as long as I'm out there doing it and somebody's having fun, I'm happy. 99% of the time, I let somebody get behind my rifle and shoot. I just don't care. But as long as I'm there having fun and they're having fun, then that's what it's about.
Yeah.
And
You
it's
got
like,
some badass gear too, bro. You got
Yeah,
some
I mean,
sweet stuff.
I've been with Pulsar now for this is my second year, and I got I don't know, I probably got 30 grand worth of thermal shit. So
so so
And
so
it's been
what
about a
is
year, right, that you got into that, the thermal stuff.
no, I've been thermal hunting for probably 4 or 5 years now.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, I started with my first thermal scope. I want to say 5 years ago, and it's a game changer. I don't know if you've ever looked behind a
yeah.
thermal or hunted at night. It's something else, man.
So what
And it's
exactly
just like
what are you seeing behind a thermal scope here? Like, is it
It's,
literally?
I mean, it's all heat signature, but I mean, you can make out exactly what it is, from up to 2,000 yards, you can see a heat
Wow.
signature through the scope. So,
And
Damn.
what are you shooting? Like what rifle caliber?
man, I shoot,
Whoever's
um,
running.
I shoot a 6.5 Grendel right now. That's probably my favorite round. I used to shoot a 223, and I had a lot of stuff that would, run away or that wouldn't die.
Small, yeah.
And then I went to this 6.5 Grendel, and it's deadly. I mean, I ain't never seen anything like it.
How long you been shooting that?
2 years now I've had that Grendel. So,
Yeah, it was
but yeah.
I remember that one show you did with and that's where I kind of like really started following you. I think it was last year you did that show with Texas Boys where you just literally stopped and you shot a I don't know what the heck it was, but you shot it standing up.
Oh, we shot two coyotes and two bobcats with Roy last year.
No, no,
Oh,
maybe it was a couple of years.
you're talking about the orcs that I shot.
Yes.
Yeah. I shot that with old John Todd, and Roy was there. He did a show, and it was pretty cool, man. But
Yes.
I didn't have any shooting sticks, and I was shooting a 338 Lapua, and the only shot I had to shoot it free-handed. And I kept telling John, I was like, dude, I'm not gonna make the shot, man. I'm not gonna do it. Like, and he
How
kept
far
yelling
was
at
it?
me. 200 probably, maybe 250. And he's like, just fucking do it. And I was like, all right, man. And that gun's heavy. It's a heavy rifle. And I picked it up and I shot him, and you could see the blood, but the animal kept running. And I was like, God damn it, John. I was like, told you I didn't want to take that shot. I was afraid we weren't going to find him.
Yeah.
But he ran about 100 yards and dropped.
I was standing up, dude. Like he was walking away, and they saw it, and he just picks it up. Like,
Yeah.
holy shit!
Yeah.
That was freaking awesome.
It was a lucky shot, man. It really was.
Hey, better be
Rudy,
looking good
yeah.
sometimes.
Rudy's asking
Yeah.
about a black coyote. What's the story behind a black coyote, man?
Man, that's a pretty cool story. A black coyote it's just a rare, like, kind of color phase they have. And I hunt in College Station a lot with a buddy of mine, and we shoot a lot of pigs and stuff. We were actually pig hunting that night. And the first place we went, I looked in the field and probably like 1,000 yards, I saw 2 heat signatures, and I thought they were pigs. But then we got a little closer and they were coyotes. And my buddy's like, "Don't shoot it. You're gonna fuck up the pig hunting." I was like, "Well, I'm shooting suppressed. They're not gonna hear it." But anyway, he's like, "You get one shot," and it was probably like 300 yards, a night with the thermal. And I was like, "All right, fuck it." So I shot, and I hit him kind of back because he was running, but he started doing this death spin. So I shot him again, and he fell, and I was like, "All right, fuck it, we got him." And then my buddy's like, "Well, it's just a coyote. Like, there's no reason to go pick it up." And I was like, "Well, let's just go pick it up and add it to the pile later." So we go, and he's driving up, and we're all blacked out using MEGs driving up to it. And he's like, "Dude," I was like, "What?" Because it's on his side. He was driving. He's like, "You shot a fucking black lab." I was like, "What are you talking about? There's no way I shot a fucking black lab.
Someone's
It was a
I can
coyote."
imagine. I can imagine Hector Randall crying, bro. Black lad.
Then my buddy's like, "It's still alive," and so he runs it over with the fucking Polaris Ranger. Doop, doop. And then we get out, and he's still saying, "Oh, it's a fucking lab." And then I'm looking, and it's still alive. It's kind of trying to bite. And I was like, "No, dude, it's a fucking coyote. It's just a black coyote." And I didn't want to shoot it up close and ruin it anymore. So my buddy had snake boots on. He just kind of stepped on his head, and I finished him off with a knife. But it's just they're very
Shit.
rare. I mean, if you shoot
Really?
one, it's I had a full body mount on it, and it's already back home. So
At
Wow, cool.
300 in the night with your thermal. It's a crazy
yeah,
story. Huh?
And then
What's
with a knife. This guy's fucking Rambo, bro.
yeah,
Rambo with a beard.
and then we ended up shooting like 16 pigs that night, so it was a nice pile.
So,
But
I'm
Damn.
trying to. I'm looking into getting an AR like that. Trying to get into that market here for shooting and just kind of. I don't want to go overboard. I've seen different things. People can easily spend drop a lot of cash in there. Do you have any recommendations on what to look for in a kind of
I mean,
entry level?
it just depends on what you're trying to do. I mean, if you're trying to do some all around hunting with it, I mean, I love the 6.5 Grendel. I mean, I'm not gonna push that on anybody, but it's what I've from hunting so much. I mean, it's a great round, and it's very deadly. So, and like I tell a lot of people, I mean, you can go fancy, you can spend a lot of money on your rifle. My rifle probably cost me $600. My thermal's fucking $7,000,
Yeah.
but the rifle's only $600. It's and it kills. So it don't really matter about the
It's
rifle.
the optic, huh? That makes it.
Well, I mean, at night when you're thermal hunting, I mean, you're not typically taking 300-yard shots. You're taking 50 to 150-yard shots. So you don't need no long distance
Yeah,
type stuff going on.
good deal, man.
Damn. Crazy,
Yeah.
bro. So
And,
a slingshot won't work then.
Nah, I mean it might.
Depends who's behind it.
Yeah.
If it's me, it is definitely ain't hitting, man.
Dude, I had a guy who was actually a good friend of my brother's. He shot a crow off a wire at 30 miles an hour.
Really?
We were driving. He lowered the window down. He always carried it. It was like Dennis the Menace type of guy, and always carried the damn thing. And at 20, 30 miles an hour, freaking dropped
Popped
it.
it.
I was like, damn, that's
Yeah.
impressive.
That's how.
Hey, how is it? How is it when you're out there in the mountains? I know you had. I don't know if you've done it recently, but I know you had gone out to Devil's River, I think, and
Yeah,
camped over there or something.
we used to go every year to Devil's River and Aoudad hunt. There's free range Aoudad over there in the canyon. And it's some of the most amazing country I've ever seen in Texas, but it's some very, very difficult hunting those Aoudad up in those canyons, free range. And it's rewarding, man. I think the last time I went was 2 years ago. We didn't go last year, but I shot a 30-inch Aoudad there last year on the
You got that
first
mounted?
day. Yes, well, I haven't got it back yet, but it's getting money. So,
Damn, bro.
Yeah, I
I
seen
mean,
a video that you had put where you're up in the mountain top, and it's like, damn, man, just to climb up there.
well, yeah. Then the problem is I shot it across the canyon, so I had to climb down and up and get to Aoudad and then climb back. I think I hiked 6 miles that day, but up and down. So
Through
but it
that.
was worth it, right? It was cool. Like you had a good time doing it.
yeah,
And
it,
it was
it
still
was
like,
awesome, man. And then I get a lot of people that say, "Well, what are you gonna do with the Aoudad?" It's gonna stay there. I'm just gonna take the mountain or the cape and bring it back. So
You don't need
yeah.
those?
they don't taste good. They're
No.
goaty, and they're not like cabrito.
No.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
And do you have a room designated for these mounts, or is it all over your house?
yeah, it's the bathroom, living room, kitchen, and then the dining room.
and anywhere there's free space on a wall, like it's
Yeah,
You're
you're
just
like,
This,
mounting them on there, huh?
yeah,
this guy's
and
got one in the fridge, bro. There's one in the fridge. Open the fridge,
yeah.
fucking thing there looking at you and shit.
I recently ran out of room, so I built a pool bathroom by my pool, and it's got more in there.
God damn,
and
man.
out of all of them, which
Yeah,
is your favorite, man? What's the favorite? Is it that black coyote?
I'm gonna have to say that black coyote. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
The
good.
black
So,
coyote or the lab? Which one's your favorite?
It
the
depends.
black lab. I haven't got it home yet. My buddy's got it in College Station. He got it from the taxidermist for me. But I'm gonna put it right by the front door, and I'm gonna get this collar made, and I'm gonna put a name on it like Cujo or Henry or some shit. So when
Oh
people walk
man.
in, they're gonna be like, "Oh, your dog died and you mounted it." Yeah, that's old Henry.
Maybe
Just,
like, nah, he didn't die. I killed him.
Yeah.
Why? He didn't go fetch.
Yeah.
yeah, he tore up my bird
Hey,
on a
your
retrieval.
dogs, dude. You train your dogs to get you beer?
I was working on Scout with that, man. The problem is he kind of fucked up the fridge, so the wife got mad, so I stopped doing
Oh, scratching it or
it.
what?
Yeah, because I tied a towel to the handle or to the door, so he'd pull it open and then he grabbed me a beer. He probably busted a case of beer learning, but he eventually had it down. But
It's
he
worth
was
it though,
scratching the
man.
damn
Like
door. Yeah,
once he
That's
gets
cool,
it and
man.
perfects it and it gets it, it's definitely worth it. Actually, probably wish I
yeah,
had a dog right now that could go get fetch me a beer. So
yeah.
I'm
Me
telling
too.
you, dude.
Scout.
I told Victor I'm gonna make a shirt with my picture of my dog on there and just say not Joe's dog, because my dog
Yeah,
doesn't do shit. He
we
just
were
lays there
talking
and he
about it.
farts horribly, man. That's
oh
all
We
his
were
dog
talking
does.
about it, bro. He was telling me,
What
he's
the
like,
hell you
yeah, my
feeding that
dogs
dog?
don't do anything like Joe's dogs do, man. Anything.
Nothing. He
uh,
sits. That's about
I
it.
mean, my dogs are by far the best, but I mean they do some cool shit. So
Yeah, they do.
so
I mean,
what's go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Now, so what's business been like for you here, or since everything like lockdown, quarantine? I mean, how's that affected your guide business, man?
I haven't been guiding at all, really.
Really?
I took one trip or two trips, I think, in the last 2 weeks. But I mean, the good thing is it's not my only source of income, so I'm cool with it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's kind of more of a hobby and cover that boat payment.
yeah, it's a nice boat, man. So I'm sure it's a pretty nice payment that goes with a pretty boat. So
And insurance ain't cheap either. So
yeah,
Dang.
no,
And you got it up for sale?
yeah, I mean, my goal in life is to eventually not have a boat payment. So what I do is I build and sell every year. So eventually, I build more equity and a couple more boats. I shouldn't have a payment.
Oh, nice. It's good.
So
Pretty cool.
yeah,
It's
and
a
then
solid boat, bro. I mean, I got to
I'm
experience you open up that TRP, and I was very very impressed.
I've been blown away by this boat. I mean, I've only got 35 hours on it, and it's an amazing boat. I won't ever go to another engine. My next boat will have that same engine.
which engine is
So
that again?
that Suzuki 350 TRP.
He's gonna get the 350 TRP on a 15-foot scooter, bro.
I think the engine will weigh more than the boat.
Shit, man.
So
What are
you've
you
been
gonna
able
get? Another cat?
Yeah, I'm gonna get another cat. But
and 25 foot, same kind of boat, 23
same
foot.
thing, man. Yeah, same boat, 25 foot. I think I don't know what kind of theme I'm gonna go with on this one, but maybe big booty Judy 2.0. I don't know.
Big,
But
Dude,
bigger
it's
booty.
it's hard to beat the infidel, man. That thing was freaking nice.
Yeah.
my plan, the problem with Infidel is it was very hard to sell, believe it or not. Not many
Because of
people were all about that American flag theme, which I didn't get. I thought it'd be easy to sell,
yeah.
so many patriotic people, but I guess where we live, I should have made it a Mexican flag theme boat. I don't know.
Just play
We're
some
Texas, man.
corridos
Yeah,
on it, man, and just do a little bit of
yeah. The next one's gonna be Mexican flag. I'm gonna name it La Chona.
No mames.
yeah,
You're gonna sell that shit pretty quick, bro. It's gonna
there
be
you
gone
go.
before you
Yeah.
even pick it up.
Yeah, Victor can help you
Hey,
come up with some names,
so
man.
tell us a little bit of what happened with Thunderstruck. I mean, that sucked.
Oh man, that was a horrible day. Yeah, I took the wife and my kids fishing, and we caught a few redfish. It wasn't an amazing day, but it wasn't a bad day. And we were coming back from Port Mansfield, and we got to almost to Raymondville, like right in front of McDonald's, and I was slowing down because it was a red light. And all of a sudden, I just heard this loud boom, and next thing I know, I was dragging the boat. The boat was on the ground. I drug it probably 20 feet. But what happened was some lady tried to shoot across from McDonald's the stripes and get in front of me before I got there. And as she did, she hit a car coming the other way, spun that car, and that car hit the back end of my truck and then my boat. Totaled that car, totaled my boat, and did about 10 grand worth of damage on the truck.
Damn. Bad day, man. But you walked away. But you walked away from it, right? I mean, shit. Like
The worst part was there was a guy that wrote a check for that fucking boat. Like he was gonna buy it the next day.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, that was the worst part. $50,000 in damage on that boat.
Oh, damn.
So they totaled it?
It wasn't totaled, but 50 grand worth of damage.
Shit, man.
Sheesh.
And then, so you went from the Infidel to, or is that was the Thunderstruck, and then from they went there to the Infidel.
Thunderstruck, I went to Infidel, and the only thing I didn't like about Infidel was that Evinrude, man. I'll never buy another Evinrude again.
What was it like? Like what was it about it that you didn't like?
It was constantly having problems, man. It was a problem after problem after problem.
Just across the board, just something different.
Yeah.
Did it catch on fire?
No, it didn't catch on fire, but it did.
But that was
just
like
constantly had problems.
That was the G2 or the like kind of that model that came out. Yeah. I've heard a lot of people have that same kind of problem with that.
Yeah, I went with it just because Evinrude. I mean, they're balls to the wall right out the box. There's no break-in period, and I was like, well, fuck, I can just get on the water and pound town,
Yeah.
But never again.
Yeah, I know that we were at a tournament and you were fishing it, and y'all ended up, I think, taking grand champion. But the guys had told me that you had a motor issue. And
we fished that was the last tournament I fished. I kind of gave up fishing tournaments, but that tournament, I got booked for that tournament, and I was duck hunting. I was scouting for ducks, and I was on the airboat, and I knew exactly where these redfish were. I mean, they were there 3 days in a row. And I told these guys, I said, we're going to make a long ride from the island all the way to Mansfield. I said, but we're going to fuck these fish up. And sure enough, we get there and we fuck the fish up. And we caught all our redfish, and I was like, well, we're going to take redfish. Like, the redfish is done. And I went to take off, and the boat had no power. Like, it just didn't want to work. And I was like, fuck. So I ended up getting towed in from Mansfield all the way to the island. It took 2.5 hours.
Jeez.
But we made it. The weigh-in was at 2 o'clock, and I made it at like 1:59. And I fucking dropped that trolling motor, and I trolled up to Jim's Pier, and we weighed in, and we took first place red and first place trout. We caught a little shitty trout, and it took first place.
That kind of day.
Yeah. I remember I was there during the ceremony. You weren't there, but the guys that were there, they were like, "Yeah, man." And I was like, "Yeah, badass, man." Who brought you back?
They fucking tipped me them some bitches. I was like, "You cocksuckers."
Well, fuck, you had to tell him that.
Who told you back, bro?
There was a guy fishing with his son that had a Dargle boat, and I even told him, I was like, "Dude, take your son fishing. Like, don't worry about me." He's like, "No, I got you." I'm like, "All right." And he tried like hauling ass, but that boat was so big, he couldn't go more than like 6 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Shit.
Man. And
did you know the guy? Did you know him?
I blew the head on it. That's what I did. I blew the fucking power head on it.
Oh shit. Yeah. So man, see, you've had some interesting days with your boats, man, both on and off the water, dude. So just stick to hunting, huh?
Yeah.
Do more.
Well, thank God this boat, knock on wood, I haven't had any issues, so I'm pretty happy with that.
Hey, and last year, was it you or was it your buddy that caught that tag redfish?
Oh, that was my buddy Josh Hartwick. We went, we were pre-fishing for BDS. We fished BDS that year. And we stayed in Mansfield. And I told him, I was like, let's go try some spots I ain't fished in a few years. And we went. We were just fucking the redfish up, And then he was probably 50 yards away. And I hear him like whispering. Like he's like saying something. I'm like, dude, there's nobody around us. Like, fucking yell, like, so I can hear you, you know. Finally, he's like starstruck, and he's like, I caught a tagged redfish. I was like, shut the fuck up. So anyway, I walk over there, and sure enough, he caught a tagged redfish. So,
Yeah.
but he was a licensed guide, and so was I. So there wasn't nothing we could do. I should have put
And
a
it
fucking
was
fillet knife in that thing and took a picture, but
it was during CCA.
that was
Yeah.
CCA. It was a legit fucking tagged star redfish.
Okay, so I heard that y'all caught that fish at Gladys, and then the next day Gladys was just packed with both.
Man, I'm gonna say I caught it in South Bay, but Gladys will work.
Up in Baffin.
But dude, I had CCA Star, the Star tournament, reach out to me, and they wanted to know like details where I caught it and all that shit. And this is the only thing I told them. I said, book a trip and I'll take it.
Damn.
And did they take you up on that?
Bro.
Did they book a trip?
No.
Oh,
No.
dude, what's up?
No.
Damn, man.
But I
Crazy,
should have
bro.
instead of releasing it, we should have put a fucking fillet knife in that thing.
That's all right. Next year or this year, actually, it's starting up
Yeah.
here this weekend. Or I guess that.
Well, the good
Yeah,
thing
it
is
is.
now, like, guides can participate in the guided division, but your client has to catch it. And if your client catches it, then you get entered into the guide part, and you can win a boat. Like Charlie Buchan won it last year because one of his clients caught a redfish. Either last year or the year before, or some shit like that.
So your client catches it and he wins and you win too?
You get entered into a pot, like, of all the
Oh.
guides. So, like, if there's 10 guides that their clients caught redfish, then you're in that pot.
So it's like a raffle for y'all.
Yeah, basically.
But last
That's
year,
nice. Better than
last year
nothing.
last year you didn't catch a lot of tagged redfish, huh? I can't remember. Like I
don't
remember,
know.
like the last few years, like I didn't know if it's been like slower or whatever. And I thought they even had to go re-release some more tagged redfish. People weren't catching them. So.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think I'll ever see another tagged redfish in my life. You know, it's just something you probably will never see. You know,
I'm gonna get
it
one.
It was cool. So I'll show you where I caught that one. It's probably still there.
I'll tell you, I had two guys come into the shop today, getting lures. We're gonna get lures, man. We're gonna go out there. They're gonna release the fish on Friday. They're gonna release them on Friday, so we're gonna go fish. I was like, dude, do you know where you're being released? They're just being released here. It's like, yeah, but you don't know where you're going. So they're gonna go chase tagged redfish.
I've read stories of people catching them like at piers and at docks and stuff like that, which is pretty cool, right? Like you know, you think you have to go chase these redfish and people are catching them at the pier or like other like just common places. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it was last year that a guy, the kid's the one telling the story, but his dad caught it off the bank, but he wasn't registered.
Yeah, that's what happens, man. A lot of people catch them and they're not registered. Makes no sense, but
no, you have to register. If you're a fisherman, you got to register. I mean, there's.
Well, what is it, like $35 or something?
It's 20.
I mean,
it's
20 bucks.
It's $25. Yeah. So it's $25 plus your membership, right? So you gotta be a member, and then you gotta enroll on top of that. So I think like it's about $100 per year.
I mean, fuck, 99% of the world will spend $25 on a case of beer, you know.
but I get to enjoy it.
Or a case of water.
No, you said you were sponsored, bro. I thought that shit was free.
My bad. Yeah. Bro, no. Let me rephrase
You're
it.
fibbing. You're fibbing.
I'm bro stat.
Oh, you're bro stat.
Yeah, I'm bro stat.
Okay.
Hey, so are you not doing any more tournaments or?
No, I'm out of the tournament scene, man. I don't have anything to prove. You know what I mean? I mean, to me, it's a bunch of guys swinging their wieners trying to prove something, and to me, I ain't got nothing to prove. I mean, I fish. Sometimes I catch fish. Sometimes I don't. It's whatever.
Yeah.
So are you still doing the Dargo or not even the Dargo?
Yeah, I'll do Dargo, but I'll do it with my family. You know, Dargo's a good family tournament. So
yeah,
that's about the only one you'll see me fishing.
I asked you if I can go with you, and you said you're not family. And I was like, but I'm getting there, bro. Look, I'm getting white already.
Yeah. You're almost there. More bleach, bro. More bleach.
Yeah. And you got to do something about this beard. You got like. It's definitely it's not gonna fit in.
Let the lip.
Definitely giving me flashbacks with that beard.
Hey, don't bring up the thermal, bro. When you said how long have you been using the thermal, I was gonna say since 2003.
Dude, that's close quarters, dude. That's all knife right there, dude. That's all Rambo knife.
Who's the gonna step away from the camera, man.
So do you have any kind of like flashbacks on shit that you saw when you were like that? Like you hear people kind of going through
Nah,
stuff like that, and it
I'm
isn't.
pretty good, man. I mean, nothing really fun. I mean, every now and then I have some weird dreams and shit, but that's about it.
So you've
Yeah.
been out how many years now?
I've been out since 2013.
Yeah, so it hasn't been long. 7 years.
And
Yeah.
so like where you're at right now, like obviously like you're hunting, you're fishing a lot. Like is this like your karma place? Like where you just kind of hit like your yin yang
It really
kind of
is, man. It's kind
balance?
of like therapy, for me. I enjoy it and I love it. And it's just peaceful to me.
So you
So
don't. So you see, you continue doing what you're doing right now as long as you can do it. You just enjoy it that much, and
as long as I can still do it, I'm gonna do it, man. I'm gonna
yeah.
fish. I'm gonna hunt. I'm just gonna have a good time. You know,
Yeah,
just
that's
live
awesome.
life.
You
And
talked about.
so Ford or Dodge?
Uh, you gotta be more specific. I mean, are we talking diesel
You
or are we
man,
talking,
Diesel, you were all up on that stroke. What you call it? I'd rather be stroking than all of a
no,
sudden you
no,
change.
no, no. You got it wrong, man. I'd
You
rather
already
be
come in the stroking.
stroking. Yeah.
No, but when you had the maroon truck and then you came back to the Dodge.
I'm gonna tell you, the Fords are the diesels, F-250s. They're some great trucks. They're
They're bad.
some hauling machines, but they are not made to go off road and hunt and kill shit like I do. I mean, they're just big bricks. They get stuck. They sink. And if anybody says otherwise, I don't give a shit. They're lying.
That's your that's my
Right.
story, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
I like
Dodge is
that
a
black
bad
Dodge,
Dodge,
bro.
man.
That's bad,
Yeah,
man.
that Dodge is. I mean, you can just driving it, you can feel how much lighter it is, and it's a great truck off road. And the reason I went to Dodge because a buddy of mine, Jason Breeden, that I predator hunted with, he had the Dodge diesel, and man, we went through some shit in that truck, and I was like, whoa,
It changed
Uh,
your mind, huh? So
yeah. So
so,
That's
so
freaking awesome, bro.
you talk about like going like hiking across Devil's River, the hills out there. Like, what are some other kind of out there, out of the valley type hunts that you enjoy or that you look forward to doing?
man, Devil's River was probably my favorite time of the year. We'd go the first week of December every year, and typically we'd get some snow, and it's just we'd go for a week and just hunt. And it was my favorite thing to do. I'm hoping we get a chance to go back this year. We'll see.
I have a
So
buddy of mine that like they'll take a kayak and they'll kayak down the Devil's River, and it's like a 4 or 5 day hike, and they're going down there, and they make stops along the way. And I mean, he just says it like the way he described it to me and sent pictures. He just said like it's like it's an unknown secret here in Texas, and a lot of
yeah,
people
it's so
don't do it.
gorgeous.
Don't do it. So
It's gorgeous, man. If you've never been, you need to go check it out.
yeah,
It's a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous part of West Texas.
yeah.
That's awesome,
Uh,
bro. Yeah, I know I couldn't go that time either. I was in my period as well, so
No, you had the anal bead stuck. Remember?
All right, he
no,
forgot.
that was the other week. That was the narco tournament week.
He's getting them all.
My
He's getting them
bad,
all
man.
mixed up
My
now.
bad.
So,
That's daily. Who are you talking about?
but no.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes they get stuck. Every other day, I guess. But whatever. Ruby's asking about your prop. So Ruby, Joe has a Suzuki 350 with the TRP now. But before that, you were running that. You were running the Evinrude before that, huh?
Yeah, I had the. I think I was running the regular, the Evinrude prop, whatever it was, the Vortex, or I don't know what. It was an Evinrude prop that I was running,
Yeah.
but I had no issues with it.
Once you
The
got
only
it
issue
was
I
the
had
motor.
was the motor itself was a piece of shit. Yeah.
And that's
I
ultimately the
think I
reason you got rid of
think
it.
The good thing about Evinrude is, I mean, they hand out warranties like they're candy, so they're gonna fix it, but you're gonna be in the shop more than you're on the fucking water.
I know a lot of people that just like replace them completely. They just had like it's been in the shop for 6 months or whatever in a year or half a year, and they just say fuck this, like
Yeah.
or going with a Yamaha or Suzuki just because whatever you can't fish that boat. There's no point in having a $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 boat if it's in the shop all the time. So
Shop half a year.
Yeah.
Hey
But,
Joe,
yeah.
I know recently you did the burgers for the police officers, man. So how did that go about, or how did you get that
You
started?
know, I had a bunch of. I'm always trying to give back to the community and help out to the people that need it if I can. And I had a lot of oryx meat that I had in the freezer, and I needed to make room for some more meat. So I put a post out, and I wanted to give it to a family in need. And of course, I couldn't find anybody. And then somebody was like, "Well, why don't you just cook it for the fire department, or cook some burgers for the fire department?" So then I reached out to the chief of police there in Edinburgh, and he was like, "Well, we got 75 cops on shift." I was like, "Done." I was like, "I can do that all day." So I woke up at like 7 in the morning. I cooked fucking 75 burgers. Me and the family plated them all up and
And
came and picked them up, man.
where was Victor that day?
Yeah, anal beads. Anal
Oh,
beads.
okay.
Definitely anal beads.
Victor,
So,
Victor,
I
it
was
goes
trying
both.
to,
Yeah.
I was trying to find them. I was trying to find them. I
Yeah.
was like, where did I put
Yeah.
them?
Victor, it goes both ways, Victor.
Oh, no, my bad. He used icy hot instead of Vaseline that day.
He was trying to cool it down.
He
Yeah.
read he read
Icy
on.
hot with no. Let's say the truth. Icy hot with garlic.
Ooh.
Ooh, bro,
Ooh. Ooh.
bro.
I'm a little bit
Man.
concerned that Victor's been thinking about this now. I feel like we're tapping
I was
into
out there.
some.
Man.
Hey, and then after everything was done, I was out there tirando palo, bro.
Ooh.
Just
No, I
Broski.
thought that was cool, bro. Stan, I thought that was cool, bro. That you did that. A lot of people don't know that about you. I've got to know you a couple of years now, since our wives used to work together. That's how I met Joe. Our wives work
Shit, we used
together.
to play softball, remember?
Yeah, kickball and softball. I sucked at all the sports, but
Yeah.
Joe still invited me. He's like, let's invite Victor so we can have somebody to laugh at.
Yeah.
So I
someone to
go.
drive.
That hasn't
Somebody.
changed, huh?
Hasn't changed, bro. That's what I'm here for, man. I'm here to make people's lives brighter and better.
Hey, you make us feel better
One
about our
anal
own
bead at a
lives.
time. One beat at a time.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, a lot of people don't know that you do this kind of. And you're somebody who doesn't. You don't want to tell anybody. You don't want to tell everybody. You want to do what you do, and then we find out because somebody told us, oh, Joe did this, and this is. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
I
awesome.
mean, people that do stuff like that, they should do it from the heart. I mean, they shouldn't be looking for publicity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In my opinion. So
yeah, it's
Yeah, I
not.
think that's
I
the
just
right
kind of I
opinion.
try and do it on. I mean, don't get me wrong. I may post about it, but I'm not trying to get hand jobs about it. You know what I mean? It's just
That's what Victor's for.
yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, when the Border Patrol were furloughed, what was that, like 2 years ago?
yeah, that's right.
I
Yeah,
And they
remember
were
that too.
getting paid. I cooked like 250 burgers for them. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember that you did it over here in
Oh, and I
you
handed
did
out.
two. You
Yeah,
did
and
two, didn't you?
I handed out $1,000 worth of HEB gift cards to Border Patrol as well that
yeah,
needed food. So
During that time.
yeah.
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 That's
No,
pretty
When
that's
nice.
he had
awesome.
put when I got our brisket from Joe, he had put that he was trying to do and this was for there was something going on, and you were trying to do a brisket for a family in need, and I was like, "Hey Joe, can I have a brisket?" He's like, "Bro, it's for a family in need." I was like, "Yeah, I need to eat, bro." So he did hook me up with one.
And now
Yeah.
you're hooked. Now you're hooked. So yeah, we'll
It
have
looks
to
He's,
good,
see
bro.
some. We'll have to see some
Victor's
videos of
hooked
how
on
you.
my meat.
I've been asking for more, but he don't want to give it up.
Hey, bro, everybody wants it lately. I gotta share,
I wanna get that chupacabra rub on that.
Ooh, give it
Joe,
some flavor.
Joe's a giving guy, man.
Yeah, you got to give and take,
Ask
man.
and
Give
you
and
shall
take.
receive.
Hey, Joe also likes to receive. I mean, he received some. I left a little bag of lures for him. It's ferret lures on his boat.
There it is.
There it is.
Hey, bro, I need it back, bro. I'm going fishing tomorrow.
Open them, Joe. Tell us what they smell. Tell us
Oh
what the
no!
smell reminds you. Tell me
It
what the
reminds
smell
you of
reminds
Victor.
you.
Oh, oh.
Smells like the first diaper I changed when my son was born. Fucking disgusting.
Okay, it could
Icy
have
hot
been.
and garlic, man.
It,
That's
it could
Victor.
Hey,
it could have gone a
no.
lot worse. I was waiting for some Afghani story or something like that, but I'm glad you kept it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you can describe this, but imagine pulling the anal beads out of Victor's butt after a week, That's how they smell.
There you go. I
And that's
somehow
why he's so
See,
successful in
okay,
fish.
that's how it smelled. But now Joe took the chupacabra rub and put them on it and shit. That's what they're using now.
but that's why he keeps asking for that meat with that rub on it, so you can kind of balance that.
You're an ambassador for them. You're part of their team.
Yeah, Alton, we kind of reached out to me about 3 years ago and asked me if I'd like to be, an ambassador for his product, and of course I said hell yeah. So, and Alton, I don't know if you know Alton, he's one of the most humble, down to earth guys you'll ever meet. So,
Yep. That's
You
the
know,
thing with
that's
him, man. He's not very like he doesn't look for the publicity. He doesn't look for the
no,
he's a very, very laid back, humble guy, and the product speaks for itself, man. And that's
yeah,
it's very good product. It definitely is. I do use that, and but he's just a really stand up guy, man.
oh yeah. And
yeah,
he's down here every year for the hunting show, I think in
Yeah.
July, or
Yep.
he's always here. So
so
That's
that's one,
awesome, bro.
yeah, that's one thing that we've noticed here was we talked to a lot of people that everybody's very sincere, and everyone's very cool, down to earth, and like you don't always see that because you only see certain aspects of their life or what they're posting on social media. But I mean, one thing I in what we do, we've met a lot of cool people, and it's just for me, it's like it's humbling to me to see how down to earth and how real people are, and that's
Yeah.
including people like you, Joe. It's just like it's just awesome. Like sometimes you see people, and you're like, oh man, like this guy's pretty big, he's pretty popular or whatever, and then you get to talk to him like shit, like this guy's like he's cool, like it's yeah. Don't get high on your own
And
supply. Yeah.
and the thing is that I think people kind of get a certain perspective or a certain I guess view of somebody. Like with me with Joe, I mean, I saw Joe as not somebody I would go and approach. Obviously, he's a big guy, but he comes into the shop pretty often now, and he's every time it's a yelling. He comes in yelling, saying hi, and it's like it's one of those things. And I think if anything comes out of the show, man, and that's one thing I'm glad Victor mentioned it. Joe gives back so much, and I think a lot of people don't know it, but I think that's the best way to do it. And like you said, man, you kind of promote it, but you promote it for the right reasons of
yeah,
let people know to come to you, but not to get that attention, man. And I think a lot of people need to kind of follow in that footsteps because, I mean, I grew up in that way where you may have needed that type of help. A lot of these people are very prideful. They don't want to know they're getting this help, man. And I see people like, hey, look what I'm doing, taking selfie, like I'm giving this to so and so. Like you're not doing it out of your heart, man. You're
no,
doing it
they're
for the
for
publicity.
likes. Yeah,
Yeah, and
I
I think
like.
you're a perfect example, man. That you're doing it because it makes, and I've said this all the time. You do things because it makes you feel good. That's it.
yeah.
I mean, so it's pretty darn cool, man.
Well, it's like I
Hell
tell
yeah, bro.
everybody. I mean, if you can give back in any kind of way, do it. I mean,
Yeah, for sure.
don't look for recognition. Just do it because you can do it. And I mean, God knows what you're doing. I mean, he's
Exactly.
always gonna remember that. So
And
Yeah.
definitely pay it forward. That reminds me, I got in trouble, or my wife kind of gave me a little, like, got mad at me a little bit. But I went to Starbucks the other day, and I was driving in there, and apparently, like the lady in front of me or the guy, whoever, they bought my coffee, and apparently it's a thing, like you keep on paying for people's coffee,
yeah,
and well, I didn't know that. I was like, okay, cool, like whatever, and I took my coffee,
drove off.
and I drove off, and I called my wife
You
like,
broke.
I broke the cycle. And my
You
wife was
kept the
telling me like
strain.
you were supposed to like buy someone's coffee. It's like what? I didn't know that was a thing. But
Well, what if their
anyways,
coffee was more expensive? I'd rather buy my own.
that was
First
that
of
was.
all, what are you doing at Starbucks?
Yeah,
Come on,
it's
bro.
kind of weird.
Hey,
Come on.
no judge,
I mean, you gotta
no.
stop there, bro.
Hey,
You need to
I'm
up your
gonna get
coffee
you.
game.
I'm gonna
no,
get him some
actually,
beats, bro.
no.
I'm gonna get him some beats.
Yeah, I don't want your. No, actually, I have my own espresso maker here too. I was actually just running out to a meeting and I had to stop anyways. But that's what happened
Stripe.
today. And don't judge me. To each their own. So fuck y'all for
You know
judging
what?
me.
that.
I'm gonna start buying people coffee at Stripes. I need to start
There you go.
a chain at Stripes, and I'll buy a cappuccino.
Just leave a
99
dollar there.
cents.
Leave a dollar there for a cup of coffee. Yeah. But definitely pay it
Oh,
forward,
man.
man. And don't do things to be real. Don't do things to fucking be fake for the likes. Like
Yeah.
climb the mountain because you fucking want to climb the mountain, not because you want the selfie on top of the mountain, right? And do what you do for you and not for anybody else or like that. But so just a few.
Joe, first and foremost, man, thank you for your service, man. honestly,
Yeah.
truly, 12 years of that. I mean, respected and very, very, thank you so much for that. And just thank you for coming on here and thank you for everything you do for the community, bro. I mean, you're part of Edinburgh and I'm proud of that. And, appreciate everything you do for the city and for us, man. You've actually opened your arms and given us opportunities as well as, with 7-Day Addiction. And I just want to thank you for that
Thank
as
you,
well.
man.
And just thanks for everything, buddy.
No,
bro.
thank you guys,
Yeah,
man.
A few
definitely,
closing.
man. 12 years, 12 years, and 12 years in a time where it was full blown. It wasn't
Yeah.
like it was a laid back time.
Yep.
And I told you before, Joe. I mean, I didn't do it, man. I couldn't do it. I was afraid. I didn't have the beats back then. Now I do.
Oh,
Have they been a thing?
beats
Man?
though.
Get you a little
But
courage, but
yeah,
no,
bro, I appreciate everything that you do for this country, and I'm glad to call you my friend, bro.
No,
Yep.
thank you guys, man.
So, Joe, just a few closing questions here. So, you're driving around in a truck. What handgun are you carrying?
Man, I carry that M&P Shield, that 40 cal. I love that thing.
Good deal.
Take it
And
everywhere. As a matter of fact, it's right here.
it's right there.
There it is.
Nice, compact. It's right with you right there. What about
So
Don't
don't
shoot,
leave
bro.
home.
Don't shoot.
who has the best tacos in the valley, man? From your perspective, obviously.
Victor.
Casa de Jose Swoboda.
Fair enough.
Hey, you've actually so he's actually extended invites on Facebook to Taco Tuesday to your home. I saw that. You're like, hey, I'm gonna have Taco
I've
Tuesday.
done
Come
it a few
over.
times. Yeah, I've done it a few times. Wife wasn't real happy about it, but I did it.
40
You're
people
not that
show
far
up.
from the shop, so I may take you up on that one of these days.
All right, dude. But thanks again, man. Thanks again for coming out here. Thanks for everything you do, and thanks for your service. And look forward to hanging out, man. One day, drink some beers, and maybe shoot something or catch some fish one day. So
Let's do it. Just leave Victor at home.
yeah,
There you go.
yeah. Well, we'll make sure to schedule it when Victor's on
I
his
got my
period. So
I got my own board now. I'll follow you all. By the time I get where y'all are going, y'all are coming back. Damn it.
all
No,
right,
guys. Appreciate it.
Have a good
Thanks
one,
a lot,
guys.
Joe.
Appreciate you.
Later, brother.